Hello everyone, I hope you're having a fantastic day. In my video to Tom earlier this week, I was asked to talk about some of the activities and some of my experiences growing up in Texas as a young whippersnapper. So I thought I'd share a few tidbits from my past in today's video. So first off, I was born in 1971 in San Diego, California, and a few years later, once my younger brother Tommy was born, we moved as a family to Texas, to Fort Worth, Texas. Yeah, Fort Worth, Texas. And we lived on Lawndale, making my poor name Gregory Lawndale. Oh yeah, baby, Gregory Lawndale. Yeah. It was a two-story house, and one of the I guess two vivid things I remember from that house. Number one, we had a large number of fruit trees in the back, specifically fig trees and pear trees. The other thing, I lived on the second floor. It was a two-story house, great house. I lived on the second floor where the guest room was and my father's hobby room. And one of the activities that my friends and I would do, and I can't believe we did this, I really can't, is we would sit with our butts on the edge of the stairs and scoot down them as quickly as possible. That just sounds painful today. I don't know how we did that. So after a few years, we then moved to another house on Toledo Avenue, and where we lived, Alta Mesa Boulevard is a huge street that goes through it. As I recall, it was 2 or 3 lanes on each side with a grass median in the middle. At least that's what's in my mind. And anyway, so this is a brand new development. My mother and father designed the house that we ultimately lived in. And it was one of just a series of new houses being built in that area. So we were one of the first families there. And of course, as families moved in, we became very close with everyone in the area. So a couple of things about that house. Today, after all these years, I still consider that to be the best house I have ever lived in. The layout was fantastic. I just love everything about it. Behind the house was a creek, and we would actually go down there and play around the creek and hike along the creek up to French Lake, which was this man-made lake in the area. I remember once before we had erected the fence behind our house, we saw a tornado not too far away from us. I also remember hiking on the creek when it was wintertime, when the snow was all there and all the ice was frozen over, and my friends and I coalesced in an unwise position, and the ice broke and we crashed into the water up to about our knees. Man, that was cold. Yeah, not a lot of fun. Not a really wise decision. But because this was the suburbs, there weren't a lot of minorities in that area. So to counteract the segregation that Texas experienced, this is when we had to be bused to the inner city. So beginning in second grade and 6th grade is when this happened. I had to get up at 6 or 6:30 in order to catch the bus to go about an hour into central Fort Worth to go to school. A.M. Pate Elementary School was my second grade school, and Morningside Middle School was my middle school for 6th grade. And that was actually unique as well, because at the time, all the Fort Worth Unified School Districts sent their 6th graders to one school. It's ginormous. I remember having 3 periods of lunch. Yeah, 3 periods of lunch. That was 3 periods of lunch, 45 minutes apiece. Dress code for 6th grade, no shorts except in PE class. And since we went to school starting in, I believe it was late August, early September, it was still quite hot outside. So as soon as you finished lunch, you had to go outside and be outside in the heat. It was awful. In second grade, A.M. Pate Elementary at that time didn't even have air conditioners. Yeah, no air conditioners in the hot Texas sun. It was crazy. Some other things that I vividly remember about Fort Worth that I really enjoyed. Number one, Casa Mañana a community theater in the round, great plays. We'd always go there in the summer. It was really where I was introduced to my love of theatrics. My mother just really, she introduced us to so many things, and I'm very thankful for that. Also, Fort Worth had a really cool summer program with the museum, so we would go to museum school, and this was a summer program where you'd go there and take classes at the museum, so it was actually pretty cool to do that. Because we grew up in Fort Worth, gateway to the West as it was called back then, we'd actually get out of school to go to the rodeo when it came to town in the stockyards. Some other things about growing up in Texas, let's see. We did get to travel around a bit, so we did get down to Big Bend National Park, where I got to whitewater raft the Rio Grande River with some family friends. It was fantastic. Great memories there. At the time, my father worked for General Dynamics, building the F-16. So this was really cutting edge technology at the time, so we would actually be able to go to the plant and to the recreation area. And I'll tell you this is quite an embarrassing story. God, I'm going to tell you this. So something about me. So at the General Dynamics Recreation GDRA, General Dynamics Recreation Area, they had a little carnival ground. And one of the things at the carnival ground was what they called, the spinning things. What the hell are they called? With the horses that go up and down. What the hell are those things called? I have no idea. The mind. What the? Okay, they're called carousels. I could have sworn I called them something else. Anyway, there's this carousel at GDRA, and you actually had to get on it with a ticket. So I rode it one time with my ticket. I was happy. I was having a good time. But when the ride stopped, my legs were too short, and I couldn't get off the carousel. And it went around one more time. And then it went around another 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 time. I don't know how long I was on that carousel, but I couldn't get off. And I very vividly remember tears coming down. I remember being very emotional about it. And for the longest time, I had such an aversion to riding carousels that if I went on one, I always had to sit on a bench. I would never get on a horse for fear that I wouldn't be able to get off. Even though I'm 6 foot something or other, I just didn't want to get on there. So yeah, that was not a fun experience. Yeah, so that's a little bit about me growing up in Texas. If you have any questions about me, about my youth, just let me know. I'll answer almost anything. I'll answer anything. You know me, I'll answer anything. But this video has been going on way too long. So until tomorrow, I told you about my little secret. Yeah. So until tomorrow, be awesome.